So I've got this idea for this video series that I've been wanting to do for a while, and I want to call it Weekly Buy, Fix, and Flips. And the idea is I'll look around, I'll find something, I'll go buy it, we'll take it back to the shop, we'll fix it up, throw some upgrades on it, and then flip it and hopefully make a little bit of money off of it. I've already picked up our first project. It's going to be I think it's an 07, 08 model, maybe 09 Polaris Ranger XP, the 700. I know it needs a fuel pump, hands down the worst fuel pump that I've ever seen in my whole entire life. I'll show you that once we get back to the shop. The gas tank was super varnished up. I've been pressure washing that for the last 3 days. Trying to pressure wash the body on it and get all the old mud and stuff that they left on there. I know it needs an ignition switch. I've got a set of injectors, an injector harness to put on it. We'll probably put some tires and wheels on it. I think the back right side rear shock's broke. The spring on it's cracked, or maybe rusted in two or broke or something. We'll check that out. We'll change the oil. I'll check the belt. I know we'll build those custom headlights for it, possibly run a snorkel. I don't really know how serious we'll get with it. We'll just check it out from the front to the back once I get back to the shop and see what we're going to do. I'm a couple hours from the shop, and I do have some parts to cut today. I've got some cleaning to do, a little bit of wiring, and some powder coating. So I don't know for sure that I'm actually going to get to jump on it today and get it knocked out. But, well, I know I'm not going to completely knock it out because we're still waiting on the ignition switch to come in. The fuel pump and injectors came in, but the ignition switch hasn't. So, once we get back to the shop, we'll check it out. And then maybe the next couple days, we'll jump on it and hopefully get it fixed up. And we'll send that thing down the road and make a little bit of money. So, hands down, the world's worst fuel pump I have ever seen. Completely rusted up, completely varnished up. That's supposed to be a filter. I'll show you on the new one once we pull it out of the box. But just as bad as this fuel pump looked, the fuel tank looked just as bad. It had to have 1 inch of varnish all the way around the whole thing. So let's do a quick once over on this thing and kind of see what we're working with. I'm gonna try to make this kind of fast just so we can get everything going and try to get this thing running before the end of the day. I know this little piece here is rusted out. I'm assuming this is some sort of factory bumper. We'll probably just cut that off. We may redo it or just grind those welds flush. I'm not sure yet. I'm guessing these lights are not factory. We'll pull those out. We could possibly build some custom headlights for it. I'm not 100% sure yet. It's got a couple of things that's loose. I'm guessing they had somebody working on it to get it back to running. This box is loose. They have this fan hardwired into what looks like to be a hot wire that probably gets hot when the ignition turns on. I don't know if there's a fan issue or a relay or possibly some sort of a sensor problem. I do have the battery on charge. The story I was told, these things set in the field, this one and the other one that my buddy has, they both set in the field for about 2.5 years. I'm not guessing for that battery it's going to charge up. I'm guessing it's going to need to be replaced. That tire goes flat over a couple days. This one over here seems to hold air, but the back ones seem to be shot, so we'll probably replace those. I've got the gas tank out. We've been cleaning on that a couple days. I've got the 2 new injectors for it. I've checked the oil. I can't find any water or anything in the oil, but I'm really curious to see how it does once it cranks up and actually runs for a minute. I've got a new ignition switch coming just because I lost the key, my buddy lost the key, somebody lost the key to it, but I have drove a screwdriver through there and we can turn it over the way it sits. But we do have ignition switch coming. This rear shock's broke, so we're going to get us a rear shock and replace that. I can see that whatever brake caliper or whatever went to this back brake system here is missing. I'm going to dive into that and see what we need to order for that. I see a little bit of oil on the rear diff, so we got to figure out where that's coming from. Everything else looks to be in pretty good shape. It still needs a little bit of cleaning. I haven't really got around to pressure washing the bed on it. We'll probably go ahead and pull this out. It's a little cubby container so we can get in there and check the belt. Make sure we don't need to replace that. We could possibly run a snorkel system on it where we vent everything up past here up to the top. And we'll probably, if we go that far, we'll take the air filter and actually mount it on either the driver's side or the passenger side on top of the cage. I'm just kind of waiting to see how far we dive into it and how much we actually do. Kind of depends on how good it runs. But that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna go ahead and run inside, grab the fuel pump. We'll jump out here, throw some injectors in it, fuel pump, finish cleaning the gas tank. I'll run uptown, we'll grab us some fuel, and then hopefully we'll have this thing running before the end of the day. As you can see, this fuel pump is in slightly better condition than the old one we pulled out of the tank. Just slightly. Not saying the old one wouldn't have ran or wouldn't have pumped a little bit of fuel, but I think this one will pump just a tad bit more than what that old one would pump. At least that's what I'm gambling on. As you can see, that's the bottom, the little filter I was telling you it should have had, and you can remember what the other one looked like. Now this is just a cheap Amazon special. I think it was like $100, maybe 105 bucks, something like that. I can't really remember. So I'm sure it's not no 200 psi max performance, gain 50 horsepower type of deal, but for what we're using it for, I think it'll work out pretty good. Now I just realized I've got no gas at the shop. I might have a quarter of a gallon if I'm lucky. Just a squirt or two. Well, there goes the fuel pump box. Just a squirt or two in that jug that I got. So I'm gonna throw the jug on the back of the old shop truck, and we're gonna knock on wood and hope and pray we can run up to the gas station real fast, grab a little bit of fuel and run back. So I'm gonna go grab that jug, we'll jump in the F350 and we'll head that way. So we jumped in the old shop truck and headed up to the gas station. It's a 1995 Ford F350 with the 7.3 power stroke in it. And I love these old OBS trucks, but man, this thing's been a money pit. I've sunk so much money into this, it's ridiculous. But I love the body style on them and I love the way they sound, so I just can't bring myself to get rid of it. We've done so much to this truck, it's not even funny. We had to pull the whole motor out of it, got the whole front end rebuilt, did a small leveling kit on it, bigger turbo, bigger fuel system, did a e-fuel conversion kit, which does away with the mechanical stuff and makes it all electronic. We did the bigger turbo, did a custom cold air intake system for it. We're going to hook up an intercooler to it because this model didn't come with the intercooler. So we've got that. I got to order some tubing for that. We may convert it over to a dually because it's the single wheel and not the dual wheel in the back. Maybe build a flatbed for it, I'm not really sure. Once we get all that kind of figured out, we'll jump onto the body, start doing some body work, get it painted up, the tires and wheels. But we're about 5 or 6 minutes from the gas station, so knock this drive on out, take it to the gas station, pump some gas, and get back to the shop, see if we can't crank this Ranger. I am honestly surprised that this thing started up and ran that great. When I heard it just sitting there idling without a bad miss or anything, it honestly surprised me. It has started to develop a miss on the top end if you really start to give it a ton of gas. I think that's going to be fuel pump related, because the fuel pump's not flat in the gas tank, it's at an angle, and I think the pickup tube's not deep enough into the gas to get enough fuel pressure when you actually start really getting down on it. We are going to go through it from the front to the back. We're going to rip all those janky wires out. I got a bunch more to do to it. If you have watched this video this far, if you'll go comment the word Ranger, I'm going to pick one person in the first 24 hours after this video has been posted. I'm going to give them 5 free entries into the giveaway. Giveaway is September the 25th, so you want to get all the free entries you can get. If you want to go buy some entries, you can go to our website, chaosoffroad.com. Anything you buy off the website will get you entered. Every dollar you spend is one ticket is one entry. September the 25th, I'm going to take all the tickets, throw them into a cash cube. We'll blow it full of air. I'll jump inside, we'll pick one out of the air, and that's going to be the winner. And then hopefully we'll take that thing to its new owner, and they'll appreciate at least the amount of time that we had to put into that thing to get it right. Now this video series is called Buy, Fix, and Flip. I honestly think in today's current market, we could possibly get around $3,000 to $4,000 out of this thing once it's completely done. Now we've got another probably $600 at least to put into this to get it right. And that'll give us a pretty decent little profit. Probably somewhere around, it would give us at least $1,000, possibly if we get on the higher scale, maybe $1,500 profit. And that's pretty good for an afternoon of work. But the downside to me doing this at my house was my kids heard this thing running. They came out the house. I had to take them for a couple laps around the yard, and I'm 99.99999% sure that my wife's going to want to keep this for at least for enough time that we can get something else for them to ride, just because I sold their last buggy. But we'll see how that goes tonight once I actually go inside. But basing this off of what the video series is around, is buying something, fixing it, and flipping it, we could have possibly made somewhere around $1,000 to $1,500 off this. And within a week's time, that's a pretty decent little profit. Now you're not always going to find these good deals like this. I've got lucky because my buddy bought both of them, and I was able to buy at least one off of him for what he paid for it, so I didn't have a ton invested in it. Now we do got that fuel pump that we got to reorder, so that's going to be another $100 or so. And we've got possibly a belt, brakes, oil filter, air filter, and if we try to go overboard with the whole snorkel deal, and if we try to do a flatbed or anything like that. But as far as the buy, fixing, and flipping, probably another $600 we could ship this thing on down the road. We do have to have the seat recovered because it's completely trashed, so maybe looking at $50, $100 or so, something like that there. But other than that, we could ship it on down the road and we'd make a pretty decent amount of money off of it. But my situation, I'm probably not going to be able to sell this one. So that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this video, just because I don't think my wife's going to let me let this one go. If we do start to do a bunch of upgrades to it, like flatbeds and stuff like that, I'll definitely video that, just so we can keep videos rolling and keep giving away free entries to the giveaway Honda. But I've got a ton to knock out tonight. I've got to get ready for the show in Ohio. I've got orders I've got to get out. I'm starving, my mouth's dry, I can barely talk. I'm going to jump inside, grab something to eat, grab something to drink, get out here, knock this powder coating out, grab a couple hours of sleep, and hopefully start packing up for the show in Ohio. So that's going to wrap it up for this one. Until next time.